Good morning. Let's take a look at yesterday's Elitserien and Allsvenskan. Neutral again, serving its purpose yesterday. Bodo Glimt and Sarpsborg. Bodo Glimt absolutely all over Sarpsborg. I did give Telegrammers a message that Bodo Glimt likely to score first in the first half. But as soon as I sent the message, of course, they end up stick the ball in the back of the net, which is disappointing. Sarpsborg equaliser not on the cards. Sarpsborg winner not on the cards. But I did mention laying that draw late on the assumption Bodo Glimt would score. But Sarpsborg's goal was so well timed, it really did impact on the draw odds. So I hope you cleaned up on that particular play there. Fredrikstad was looking for a goal in the first half. Their in-play stats suggested as much, and that's their pattern. Score the vast majority of their goals first half. Keep your liability low by getting involved after the 30th minute. Molde still lost at home, but did score that second goal. So notable that Oslo just taken them to town. Really, this is a poor performance from Molde's defence because Oslo very rarely score that second goal. So that, I think, is reflective of the poor position Molde find themselves in at the moment. Lynn and Asane, this is a reminder to you that if you have an in-play stats feed, it can open up angles to you that you might not get in the pre-match research. For example, here with Bodo Glimt and with Lynn, they were both touching 90s, 100 on the attacking pressure index, which is always a good sign. That's suggestive, that kind of momentum that a goal is imminent. And when you see that, particularly 20, 25 minutes into the first half, have a go in the first half goals markets if they're liquid enough. My preference would be the half-time score market, a 1-0 and a 2-0. 2-0, you'll get double figure odds. They could always just ignite. You just never know. In the Allsvenskan yesterday, Gothenburg continue their woeful performances away against the top three. No real trading angle with AIK, far too reliable. Degerfors, well, when you've got a side who's had a win, had a loss, and had a draw against teams around Brommapojkarna's position in the league, you ask yourself which Degerfors turns up. We don't know, so don't play. It's a quite simple equation. I told you yesterday, GAIS, that those odds, particularly 2.45, if you got that earlier, an absolute gift from the gods. This is 3 out of 4 away wins I've picked out. You get some really good value in this Allsvenskan, don't you? I haven't got a clue why it's 2.3 the favourite when you've got a guy scoring for fun. Answers on a postcard, please. Värnamo against Elfsborg. The angle in here was the Värnamo inability to keep a clean sheet all season. The best way to play this, particularly if you're using in-play stats and look at Elfsborg and say to yourself, they haven't turned up. I like laying draws like this at odds of 1.09 and 1.06. You can actually place these lays in far before they reach those odds. I lay at 1.09 the draw to win £23. I lay at 1.06 to win £32. My liability is about £4 for a possible 53 quid win. And they do come in. This match is perfectly suited to that 1.09, 1.06 lay, Värnamo and Elfsborg, because 100% failing to score, 100% failing to keep a clean sheet. Can they continue it on through to the death? You never know. They might just concede, like Skyd did yesterday. And in the Superetta, not much to talk about. Örebro and Kalmar, both teams to score over 2.5 goals before halftime. Nice neutral angles again. Let's go on to today's football, and I will be providing you, as well as the football today, I'll be providing you with some reports on Wimbledon, particularly the top 5 in the betting. And I've also asked to look at which players in the WTA and ATP have what could be described as a comfortable enough passage into the later elements of the tournament. So more on that as a Brucey bonus for you a bit later on. But looking at today's matches, Brann against Sandefjord, we've got a 1.65 home favourite in the Eliteserien. In the Allsvenskan, we've got a 1.7 home favourite. And if you back them, you're howling mad Murdoch Djurgarden, which we'll get to. Let's have a look at Brann and Sandefjord. Only one home loss for Brann. Only two under 2.5 goal matches. This should be a goal fest. It should be a simple story of Brann outscoring Sandefjord. Both sides have a strong reputation for seeing goals before half-time. So if you want to add the two together, Brann's potential for 2+ goals, over 2.5 goals, you could look at first half goals 1.5 as a trading angle in the hope that Brann score early. But do look for a first half breakthrough. The ideal angle is to wait for 20 or 25 minutes at 0-0 and then enter the market then. Let's go to Djurgarden and Norrkoping, 1.7 home favourite. I haven't heard a funnier joke since I last watched Ian Bagg on YouTube, and I recommend him. Ian Bagg, class Canadian comedian. He will make you chuckle more than Djurgarden at 1.7. Only 4 wins all season for Djurgarden, but then again, Norrkoping only 4 wins all season. Neither of these two sides has had a consecutive win as well this season. That is the hallmark of inconsistency, isn't it? Just a bad side. 0-0, 1-1, 1-1 goals scored at home by Djurgarden is not the recipe for success unless you're Tony Pulis and you're trying to nick a 1-0 result. So all in all, the Djurgarden look very ropey at 1.7. But it's interesting that the market has them at 1.7. Both sides look very similar, 4 consecutive wins. The key component here for me, the vast majority of Djurgarden's 4 defeats have come against the top 4. That is a crucial little bit of form. Make that the top 5. This results table is really good. It's also called the challenge table. You can get this at fcstats.com as well if it's not available on Soccer Stats. This gives you a glimpse into where sides are clustering their defeats. You can quite clearly see Djurgarden's problems are against the top 5. So what are you going to do when they play 10th? You're going to infer that they might have a chance, but they're not scoring that second goal. Norrkoping as well. Let's have a look at them. Look at their challenge table form. And this is something where you can just gain a very quick précis of the match. It's split into 2. Tend to lose against the top 8. Playing 9th today. Tend to beat 11th and lower. Playing 9th today. So you've got Djurgarden in absolute no man's land between defeats and wins. So which Norrkoping will you lean towards today? It's very interesting, isn't it? Mjällby and Malmo is a top 5 clash. Let's have a look at this one. In playing first today, Malmo have failed to score away against 1st, 3rd and 7th. 3 out of 3 occasions away from home, they've failed to score against the top 7. Can we rely on that form in what is a tough to call match? 2.55 the favourite tells you that the market is giving Malmo a chance here. But Mjällby, I don't know why they're not stronger favourite. 2.7 outsiders. 5 consecutive home wins for Mjällby, 3 consecutive home clean sheets, and still the markets put them as an outsider. Is ABBA doing the odds for these bookmakers? Because they're all over the shop. We saw GAIS yesterday at early Christmas gift odds. Now Mjällby at 2.7 are looking quite good. I don't know why Malmo are favourite. Maybe it's in the head-to-heads. So those are the only 3 matches, but what is brewing in the background is the start of men's and women's Grand Slam tennis. The men's game, you should be waking up to the 5-set trading angles. 2-0. If a player's 2-0 down, they've got to win the next set, otherwise they are out of the tournament. If a player's 2-1 down, he must win the next set, otherwise he's out of the tournament. You get the idea. Be looking at focusing initially at these 11 a.m. starts on Brits. So my initial sweep of the coupon will be highlighting at tennis24.com any British players, because they might just throw a spanner in the works if they're underdogs. What's that bloke's name? Lofhagen, beautiful British name. Lofhagen has had 2 consecutive wins as an underdog, and then in his third one, 2 7-6 sets in a 3-setter. So do look out for them. So that's the Brits I've got covered. Hugh Fearnley-Whittingstall is playing Fonseca. Harris, strong favourite against Lajovic, so that automatically gets my attention. McDonald, I think Karen Khachanov should be far too good for him, but he is a plucky Brit in England. Ferry is playing Popyrin. I don't know if that's Brian Ferry or no, it's A Ferry. I think Popyrin's going to be far too good for him, an Australian at 1.22. Cameron Norrie is playing Bautista Agut. Both players, I think, will be winning sets in this one. So any 2-0 lead, very gettable. Cameron Norrie just a slight favourite, but Bautista Agut on grass cannot be underestimated. He's taken Alcaraz. Well, he made Alcaraz work for Alcaraz's win recently against him. Britt Tarvet playing Reedy. Don't know much about this Reedy. He was in qualifying. And Crawford. Betty, doggy done a whoops on a carpet. I don't know if it's that Crawford. Playing Bellucci, 1.33 home favourite. Any other outstanding matches which catch my eye, which I would immediately look at? I do like Australians, so particularly when they're favourite. Jay Thompson. O'Connell outside against Manarino. I would still take them. I don't know why I pick Australians. It's just that competitive spirit. They do tend to really perform, particularly Algo Elysium against Duckworth, for example. Algo Elysium, smooth as silk. Duckworth probably got a mullet, and he's got a can of Foster's, mate. Stroth. He's not expected to do anything, Duckworth, but Algo Elysium eminently layable with winning the first set, 1.17. Watch out for Struff on grass, the German. Cannot be underestimated. 1.73. If Misolic makes him work, I would be trusting Struff today. Really does like grass court tennis. Andrei Rublev, keep an eye on the fiery Russian. Tends to beat himself up, literally, with a racket. If his head explodes, 1.25 is laughably short for the Rusky today. Taylor Fritz at 1.17 has a tricky opening encounter against upcoming Mapeshi Pericard from France, but I think Taylor should get through. He could go deep. Davidovich Fokina, good on grass. Watch out for him. The Spaniard. Andrei Alexander Zverev, is one of the standouts. He is the only very, very short price favourite, 1.1. Now, a special angle for Grand Slam tennis is to lay any very, very short priced favourite at 1.08 or lower. We picked up 2 of them at the French Open. And if you imagine, one of them was 1.05, £5 liability, wins you 95 quid. So it's worth pursuing with. I call it the Yaz trade, because if you're backing Medvedev at 1.06, your only route to success is 1.05432 to 1.01. If you're laying Medvedev, your only route to success is 1.06 all the way up to 1,000. Which side do you want to be on? Liability will be extremely low, laying Medvedev at 1.06. Laying Lehecka at 1.01, I will be laying Lehec out of Lehecka at those ridiculous odds. Don't forget, he's a human being. He could get an injury, could get a back niggle. Anything can happen at those odds. Don't forget, Boca Juniors against Auckland City, 1.01 favourites, drew 1-1. It does happen. Francis Tiafoe, 1.05, very accomplished on grass, expected to go deep, not expected to get the winning profit there, but you've got to lay anything at 1.08 or lower. So we've got 3 of those today to look at. And so I've got plenty of starred matches. And looking at the ladies today, again, Cartel, British, playing Ostapenko. That's got profitable trade written all over it. Ostapenko, extremely good at coming from behind. So if Cartel wins the first set, which she might with their home support, I will be firmly with Ostapenko. She hasn't let me down. Raducanu against Zhu. Beautiful British names, Raducanu and Zhu, meeting each other. Two Brits. 1.14 Emma Raducanu, done at short odds recently by Joint in Australia at Eastbourne. So I don't trust Emma Raducanu, particularly if she wins the first set. I will be laying the bleep out of her. Flaky. Talking of flaky, Naomi Osaka at 1.1, laughably short. Bit like back in Djurgarden for you howling mad Murdochs out there. Flaky mentally, world class on the court when she gets it right. Playing an Australian today in Gibson, I can see all sorts of problems for Naomi Osaka today. Get in at short odds if she wins the first set. Looking forward to that. Beautiful British name, Stojsavljevic. Playing Kruger today. The Brit, 1.11 favourite Kruger. Stojsavljevic is not expected to do anything today, but I will be laying Kruger if Kruger wins the first set. In case the Brit, Stojsavljevic, beautiful British name, is competitive in the second set. Looking at Australians as well, Tomljanovic against Pavlyuchenkova. I could see that being a three-setter, with Tomljanovic being the old mosquito near the ear, kind of a pain. Katie Balter is not even favourite against Badoza, but I think she will be competitive today. She has to be. Klugman, beautiful British name, 1.1 outsider against Fernandez again. My angle for that, if you've got such a short-priced favourite against a Brit at a British tournament, and that short-priced favourite wins the first set, you're guaranteed to get very low liability entry point. You've got the trading angle of a British player, in this case, British ladies, fighting back. Hilary Dart is playing Galfi, 1.8. Hilary Dart, that's expected to be a three-setter. Can we trust Hilary to take at least a set off Galfi today? This is basic research. I haven't gone in depth into the rankings, etc. But this is just my first sweep. Don't forget your shorties. Paolini, 1.07 favourite today. Very layable. Anything at 1.08 or lower will be laid by me automatically. You only have to pick up 2 or 3 of them, or even get a trading angle if they're 2 sets down, to be in with a real good shout here. There is so much tennis today that this is my preferred route, is to pick matches of interest beforehand. Ons Jabeur against Tomova stands out for me, 1.14. I expect her to do a job. So those are the main players. I'd love to do some tennis live streaming, but it's difficult. It's not like the football. It's not fluid like the football. Sabalenka at 1.03. You know what to do with her. Lay the bleep out of Sabalenka, who is world number 1. So we're not expected to get anything out of Sabalenka. So tennis is dominant. I've got a couple of reports ready for you. And please bear with Megan, as she will be doing the tennis as well. I'll be reporting, well, passing on this MP3 as a podcast and be providing the football podcast today. And I've got a nice angle now for the podcast, getting them working on focusing on the angles and on the neutral angles for the podcast. So we actually get some proper information rather than old Megan whittering on with her American friend about lower tier Scandinavian football. We actually have a purpose now, is to focus on the neutral element in the podcast. So it's worth a listen. Long video because there's plenty to talk about. 11 a.m. I will be collecting tennis examples for you today. I don't know if I can provide a tennis telegram service because a lot of you may not be au fait with the terminology. But I will report back tomorrow on how the matches, particularly those that I've starred, have performed. Have a great day today. It is my day off today. I will see you again tomorrow.